Hello, friends. This is Reverend Lance McCune. I have a very important message I want to share with you today. It's about the way that the faith based community can get involved with responding to the hurricane response with Helene as well as Milton. We know right now that the Hurricane Helene was huge. It affected multiple counties and tens of thousands of people, as well as Milton as it moves in on Florida. It's also going to make, we believe, a very devastating impact on the state of Florida. Now, as a faith based coordinator, a strategic faith based advisor for the last 23 years, I have some experience in this particular area. And I want to share some of those experiences with you so that you, as a faith based leader, as well as a community leader, as well as elected leader, might understand how to better harness the faith based community's resources as well as leadership in the response to these disasters. When you have a disaster of this magnitude or disasters of this magnitude, not one government agency can take care of this. Not one relief agency can deal with this. It's all of us pulling together. That means the faith-based community with government as well as our national relief organizations. Now, how do we do that? Well, I did this in 2005 and in 2007. I was the volunteer coordinator for Tarrant County, which is half of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, in dealing with Katrina and Rita, the hurricane that took place. Then in 2007, I was the faith-based coordinator dealing with Gustav Ike hurricane as well that impacted Louisiana. And we had to deal with tens of thousands of people and respond to the needs of those people. And in the case of Katrina and Rita, we had to respond for a period of several months. How do we do that as a faith community? And how do we connect with local government, local emergency management in the most effective way possible? Well, I'm going to share some ideas with you that I believe are things that have worked. And I think it's important you, as faith based leaders and government leaders, understand this and share this with those in the affected communities, as well as the communities that will be affected by the results of all the refugees that will be passing into their community that many of us will have to take care of in the near future. First of all, how I got involved with this was very simple. I developed a faith based community policing program for my city, the city of Fort Worth, with the understanding that if we ever had a 9/11 event, we would be able to come together with our local law enforcement as well as emergency management to be able to respond to a large disaster. In the technical term, a large incident. In Katrina and Rita, my job was very simple. I went into the Emergency Management Operations System, or National Incident Management System, in a what they call an EOC, Emergency Operations Center. And I then became the coordinator, the volunteer coordinator for all faith-based response within the EOC, Emergency Operations Center. And we're allowed to do that according to the National Incident Management System, which is the guidelines that all emergency management follows. That means where everybody comes together within the system and works together to be able to deal with a major incident of this level. So I want to share with you the practical things that can be done. I'm going to read with you some of this information because that way I won't jump around as much. And at the same time, I want to be available to you in the future so that I can help you more. There are many people that are struggling right now. There are many organizations that are stretched to the limit. It's time for the faith-based community to connect with local government and national government in the response to the events that are taking place. So let me begin with you by saying this. I believe God has raised us up for such a time as this. Let's get involved. Let me begin by reading a paper that I wrote several years ago. Forgive the letter. But I want to share this proposal with you. It's based on an extensive disaster management experience that I had. It's for a solution that will meet most current critical needs of community and service agencies. Right now, not only with these hurricanes, but also going forward. In any incident or disaster, It is a strategic establishment of essential personnel, that means the faith-based community, in the position within the Emergency Operations Center. It comes under the title of a technical specialist. That means when you contact your local government leader that is in charge of the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center, you would ask them, can we have a technical specialist that will respond to the faith-based community so that we as a community can help those in need, and at the same time, you can help us in what we're doing. That's what I did with Katrina, Rita, Gustav, and Ike, the hurricanes that took place in the past. Now, people will ask me, who's in charge of the Emergency Operations Center? Every county has a political appointee that is in charge of that center. What I mean is their final authority. If you're looking for someone to ask to get involved at this level, you need to look to the political authority, the elected authority that oversees the emergency operation management system in your county. In the state of Texas, it's our county judges. Our county judges are the final authority and the leaders of our county over emergency management. In your state, it might come under a different title, but that person is key, because if you can get their endorsement and help to come into this system, you will be able to operate more effectively and work together as a community with all local law enforcement as well as emergency management. So let me continue. As I read this, in the NIMS, National Incident Management System, which is the guidance system for all emergency management, they allow for what is called a technical specialist. What that means is a person who is very special and has technical skills in a certain area. In that understanding, in the 2007 NIMS manual, they briefly described what one technical specialist could be, and that could be a faith-based community representative. In the 2017 NIMS manual, they made it a little bit tighter, and they said a community representative. But what that means is that allows us as faith-based community specialist in our community, where we can get involved with local emergency management at a local level and a management level, so that we can be involved to help coordinate the resources that we have with local government in responding to disasters. And sometimes these things last a long time, so it's better for us to work together than to work outside of each other. Now, in my particular case, I had a really good judge that overseed our county. He gave me the responsibility of coordinating and organizing all the faith-based community to respond to work with local government, as well as emergency management, as well as international agencies that come in that were faith-based groups. They could connect with me, and I could connect them with local emergency management within the EOC, which is called the Emergency Operations Center. Now, I know that's kind of technical, but in very simple terms, there is a system that you can tie into if your local government leaders will say, yes, we want you to be involved, because it's allowed within the National Emergency Management System. And at the same time, you will be able to coordinate better the faith-based response to be able to help all these hurting people. Now, I had a political leader ask me several years ago, what is the faith-based community involved with volunteer in disasters? I mean, they have no experience. And I had to laugh. I had to tell him, I had looked at him, I said, do you realize that the largest volunteer organization in the United States of America is the church? We organize volunteers on a regular basis every week. We are the largest volunteer organization in the world. We organize volunteers every week, midweek. And then I had to laugh. I had to say, we even take an offering from them when they volunteer. We are experts in this arena. Let us bring our expertise within the emergency management system so that we can bring all our volunteers as well as our resources to help connect to respond to these disasters that we are now facing right now. Now, let me continue to read this, so this might be helpful, and I think it will help you also. The position that is authorized in the 2017 National Incident Management System, NIMS, when empowered under the NIMS guidelines, the technical specialist, which is the faith-based representative, is the essential face of a point of contact, a liaison to community partners. This, in turn, helps facilitate effective collaboration and two-way communication between community, local, state, and federal government. In past major disasters, the position has proven to be a highly effective tool in reacting into communities to help meet wide spectrum of needs and facilitate incident response. I believe that this position is essential, especially when we're dealing with the magnitudes of incidents that we're dealing with right now. Now, in a lot of our major cities, the emergency management system is very robust, very strong, and very well organized. And by tying into those organizations, I believe we can only become an asset because they're experts. We're not experts in this arena. We don't do it on a regular basis, but we are experts in helping people. Now, in rural communities, which we're dealing with in Helene, there aren't a whole lot of major cities involved. There are counties involved and small communities. And really, in many of these communities, it's the church, the faith-based community. They're the only primary person that's going out there and responding because it is so devastating and is so large. So within the NIMS system, the National Incident Management System, we have a way in which the faith-based communities in every county, no matter if it's a large city as well as a rural community, to connect within the emergency management system, which then will help facilitate the response of government as well as the faith-based community to respond to all those that are hurting. I believe lives are at stake right now, and I believe it's time for all hands to be on board to be able to deal with these disasters. Now, I know this can be a little technical, and I know this can be a little hard to understand for some people, but what I want to share with you is this. The faith-based community has a place within emergency management. They have a place within the emergency operations centers within every county in the United States of America. And I believe that we can be there to help aid those organizations as well as they can help our organizations to respond to the disasters that we're facing right now. Now, if you need more information about this and you want to talk to me more about this, please send me an email. It's kappa@startmail.com. There's no way that I can cover with you all the information that you might need in your particular area. But if you are a faith-based organization responding in the disaster area or outside of the disaster area, the impact area, because of all the refugees and all the people flooding into your area, and you need to have some information that will help you connect and help facilitate you working better with emergency management as well as emergency managers in those areas to work better with the faith-based community, send me an email. Give me your phone number. I'm available there. This information that I'm sharing with you is based upon experience that works. I know in the situation of Haiti, when there was a major earthquake that took place and tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people were killed, I know the military had a difficult time responding to the disaster because the faith-based community was more of an obstacle than helping because there were so many of them and no one could communicate with each other. So the response was limited on how well the military could respond. So they were one of the main components that put the faith-based representative within the original NIMS component of development within the emergency management system. And I believe that should continue. I believe that we should continue to develop those relationships under the technical term of a technical specialist within the Emergency Operations Center, which can be a faith-based representative or community representative. It can help facilitate the initial response to the recovery, as well as be there until everybody gets back on their feet again. You know, my heart goes out to all these people. There's a way to work our way through this. So take this information. Please share this with every person you know, because this information could very well save people's lives. Again, if you have any questions, send me an email at startmail.com. Give me your phone number, and I will respond back to you as quickly as I can. God bless you. Have a great day. And we pray for all of those that are going through these incidents. God bless.